we had this conversation of like how to grow this podcast, like getting all these fancy sponsors and all. And I really hope you pull that through. I want to see you next to this Prof G, all this like.
Oh, I love Prof G.
Yeah, or maybe you'll be on Joe Rogan and like treatment, all the crazy things, But yeah, I'm really excited for the future of this podcast, and
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi show with Peter Yu. Very sad day. Me and Peter are breaking up.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a dramatic breakup. We had a
It's
fight.
mutual. It's mutual.
It's not you. It's me. It's me.
Yeah, it's not you. And then when you leave, I'm gonna be like, oh, I broke up with him. I kicked him off the show. It's gonna be like that.
Yeah. That's like, and I'm gonna do a whole expose going on a media tour, and
That's right. So yeah, Peter, you want to give us a quick update?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we're just joking around, but basically, you guys, if you guys been listening to us, you know that I'm about to finish my PhD and looking for jobs right now and all that.
Real job.
Yeah. And I just figured, I just won't have time to dedicate dedicate my effort to this as much as I'd like, and plus Shintaro definitely wants to take this to the next level, and I just can't go on that journey with him right now at this point of my life. So I just don't want to be a roadblock, and I want you to flourish with this thing. So
yes.
And it's like I've taken it from zero to where we are today, and
pretty good. Yeah.
It's been a very fun journey, and I mean we're still gonna talk, but just like I don't want.
Yeah. You could be on the guest, as a guest.
I'll
if
come
you're not
on
too
as a
good
guest.
for us,
I'll definitely come on, and I'm definitely gonna start listen still, and I'm still gonna be doing judo and be a part of the community and stuff like that, and
Yes. So you're high likelihood of going to California, correct?
Yeah. I mean,
because that's where all the AI jobs are.
Yeah, I try to find some companies in like other areas. I think usually it's New York or Seattle on top of Northern California, like the Silicon Valley, San Francisco area. And based on my expertise, it's been hard to find like the best fit in New York and Seattle. So I think I'm gonna probably end up in California. Yeah.
So you got to shop yourself around to the dojos now too.
Yeah, that's right. I have to do the whole thing. I do know some.
You have to go do the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I do know some folks in. Like California is interesting because there's like a long history of Japanese immigrants, right?
Yes,
so
for sure.
Judo is kind of like integrated into the community. Like all the Japanese Buddhist churches have judo gyms, and so I know.
And it's very, very cheap over there here.
Very
for judo.
cheap, yeah, because
incredibly cheap. Which I think it shouldn't be, because how do senseis make a living?
They don't.
There's more money in the. They don't do it. They do it as a hobby. And
yeah.
this is the issue with the hobby stuff. Let me start ranting about about me.
Should I preach? Should I preach this? You
gotta preach this stuff
to the teachers over there.
Yep. And I've heard it a million times from a bunch of dojo owners. I don't want to charge a lot. I want to make it accessible to everyone. I don't want to make money from it. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you do during the day then? I have a 9 to job. It's a grind. I finish work. I get to the dojo at 7. I teach 1 or 2 classes. But you're so tired. You're sitting on the side, not giving a good quality product anymore. You're not teaching at your best because you work a 9 to 5. I know guys who run dojos who are contractors, moving sheetrock all day and night, busting their butt, and then going to the dojo and teaching like a kid's class, but they're sitting on the side. Like, that's not good. But if they charge a certain amount, they could run that as their primary thing. And during the day, they could do privates, and then they could work on the business, not just in the business, and grow judo as a whole, right? We need more full-time judo instructors. And then for that to happen, we need more money.
Full-time,
Yeah, it's a full-time thing. So whoever you are listening in California running a dojo, when Peter walks into the dojo, you got to charge him an extra. You got to charge him a New York premium.
Just like 5 times as much, whatever.
It should be good when you're walking around and,
it was, I mean, I was there over the summer, and then
Yeah.
I trained at Palo Alto, the
Oh,
dojo.
nice. Was it good?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I trained there like 10 years ago when I was in
Nice.
college, when I was
Good,
doing
yeah.
my internship there. So it was nice to
Yeah.
kind of see them again. Usually, I think a lot of these Buddhist church dojos focus on kids. So they're not a lot of adults, but still, I mean, it was good to get on the mat and just
Yeah.
work out. So I think it is a bit of a different culture, but I'll definitely shop around.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I think one of our patrons actually live on the East Bay, and I think it's not a church dojo. It's more like a full time. Like,
I know East Bay, they have a gym, Sayaka Matsumoto's gym.
Oh, okay,
You know,
yeah, maybe I'll go there.
sorry, Sayaka's dad,
I
David
see.
Matsumoto, started this gym. Now Sayaka's the next. She was an Olympian.
Okay.
The Matsumotos are out there, and that's like a historical dojo too, because they've been around forever and
I
they
see.
produce champions, and you know.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
we're thinking about living in the East Bay too, because
Okay.
yeah. So maybe I'll. I mean, it depends on my wife also has to find a job, so.
Yeah.
There's like a whole question where we're gonna live. I just have no idea, but
Wow,
yeah.
Peter, you come into a dojo
I
here in
don't get that.
California.
Yeah. It's
Start messaging them. You know, this is the thing, right? You get all these job interviews that you were doing nonstop,
yeah.
and you're shopping around and getting offers, and you're comparing and contrasting.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
what do you
I
have
know.
to offer me? And then once the offers start rolling in, now you can start being a little bit more selective. Hey, man,
Right,
this
right.
company's offering me this. I don't want to deal with I don't want to even take your interviews now. You know,
Yeah.
so the thing kind of shifts, right?
it's like it's a
Yeah.
pretty dramatic shift in power, I guess.
Now you have to do that for the judo,
Yeah.
the dojo. You got to go around and be like, yeah, well, you know,
I don't have
This Bay comes with the recommendation from Shintaro and Palo Alto. I've been like, what do you have for me? How many training partners do you have?
right.
You only have heavyweights? I'm gonna need something else, you know?
I don't have an offer yet, I guess. So is it? Can I really be selective right now, or
The dojo offers?
yeah, I don't have a dojo offer yet. But
Yeah, so you have to put it out there. You have
Yeah.
to put it out there.
I have to start visiting, and yeah, but we'll see. I just know that they have a huge judo
Yeah.
community there, and it's definitely different from the East Coast, but it'll be interesting.
Did you meet up with Carlos yet?
Carlos? I did. Yeah, we worked
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
How's that?
He was amazing. You know, he's such
Nice
a
kid, right?
Such
Yeah.
a funny,
He's not a kid, but
gregarious.
he's a nice- yeah.
He's such a funny, fun, gregarious guy. Everyone loved him
Yeah.
at Christian's dojo. I think he's gonna just kind of shop around a little more. He's doing that thing, but we'll
I'm
love.
suggesting that. I'm
Yeah.
always suggesting
Yeah.
that. You know, it's the same thing happened, right? He's like, I'm Shintaro. I'm moving to
Yeah.
Michigan to be with my woman, and
Yeah.
now I'm gonna pick a dojo. And I was like, all right, go to her gym, meet up with Peter, shop around.
Yeah.
Now everyone wants him, right? Everyone
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
him. Now it's kind of serendipitous how like you're on your way out, but he's
I
went
know.
to Michigan, and now you have a little bit of a connecting
Thread
thing where you
yeah.
can kind of guide him into the mix.
Yeah,
you know.
he had a lot of fun. He came to last Thursday's practice, and yeah,
Nice.
He goes after people, man. I thought
Yeah,
I
yeah.
told him to like chill out because
Yeah.
he just moved and stuff, but he wanted to go
Yeah.
with everyone, which is great. Like he went with me, he went with Christian, he went with
Yeah.
all the brown belts, green belts we have. Yeah, it was great.
He's pretty good, right?
He's good. He's fast. I
Yeah.
think he's also. I was impressed about how he's a thinking judoka. He's always
Yeah.
trying to find an angle. He's not trying to just like, oh, I'm gonna do spend
Yeah.
this one move or that. He's always thinking. He's asking
Yeah.
questions, and which is what you
that's-
preach. Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we kind of do, right? You want
Yeah.
to be a intellectual judo type, not just a brute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Similarities between your job hunting and then judo, grappling, martial arts, philosophy, theory, all this stuff, and then
Yeah.
how it applies to you building your personal life, career life.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking about that this morning when I was walking my dog. I was like, now that I'm kind of I'm like wrapping up my job search a little bit.
Yeah.
It felt to me like, in a way, it's like being in the Olympic circuit or something. Like, I don't know. It's just there's some similarities. I'm not saying they're like
Definitely.
exactly the same, but it's like, I I think it's always you can study so much, and then the questions they ask during the tech interviews. I was telling you a little bit about this. There's some randomness, and then you just have to kind of get lucky.
Yeah.
There's some aspect of that on what questions you get, but at the same time, what you could do is like it's like kind of going to a competition. So you like front load all your job search with like companies that you may not care that much about. So you get interviews with them, you get some practice. So it's kind of like
you do randori with the green belts.
Yeah, green belts, or like you even go to like local tournaments.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of get to, and then once you go through multiple interviews, you kind of get the sense. You like, I was like, okay, this is how they ask, this is how I should react to this, or like, and then as you get deeper into your search, you now start interviewing with the companies you really want to work for it, and that's your true. Grand Prix, Grand Slams, and hopefully the Olympics at the end.
Yeah, and then sometimes you just have to go home and start training again. Scratch. It's
I definitely had those moments. I would like get rejected, and I'm like, damn. And I did not think that they would ask me this question. So now I have to go back and say I better study up. It's kind of like you go to you think it's like you walk through this local tournament, and some junior champion from Georgia shows up. And then destroys you. It's like, oh god, I need an answer for Georgian grip or something. It's it's like it's kind of like that.
What was a really super technical question that got you stumbled in the thing? Give me one of those.
So, you remember your calculus, right? Taking the derivative.
Yeah, I remember the derivatives.
Yeah. So
this is your last chance to be super condescending to me, Peter.
No, I'm just saying. It's just like. So the last time I actually had to like analytically spell out all the steps to take a derivative of a function was like back in college, like first year freshman in college years.
Yeah.
And so derivatives are pretty important in AI because that's how you kind of optimize the AI systems. That's how AI systems learn.
X squared goes to 2x kind of a thing with the exponents go down one.
You remember your derivative rules, right? So
I guess I did. I do. I didn't think I did. I was like derivatives. I was like, what the hell is that?
That's one of the rules. Like the derivative of x squared is 2x, and there's like all these rules. And then, that's a very mechanical process. So everything is kind of automated. You don't have to know how to take a derivative of a function now to develop an AI system.
Yeah.
So I never thought that question of can you take a derivative of this function will come up.
Yeah.
At one company I was interviewing, and then just like it was pretty like tricky a function to take a derivative of. And then the interviewer asked me to do that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm screwed, because it's like I don't remember all the rules now. I remember those are the basic ones.
So there was a specific problem that they gave you?
So it was like, it's like, okay, let's, usually it's like, oh, what do you, like, what kind of function would you use for this purpose? And I was like, this function, and they'll be like, can you write the code for that function to calculate that value? Yeah. And then, now, okay, can you take the derivative and implement that? And and then I'm like, oh shit. And
did you do it?
No. that function.
What did you say?
I was trying to, I was like trying to take like small steps and then try to like simplify the problem, and then try to, and then while I'm rambling, I'm trying to remember all the derivative rules, and it's not coming. I probably look like a fool, but after
could you even say like, wow, that's so beneath me, like that's such a junior developer freaking thing, like why would you even ask me that? Can you say that?
That's a big gamble, because I guess some interviewers might like it, but I did.
I mean, you got to be like, yo, why would I work on these little technical, tiny details? I'm a big picture guy. I have 19 people underneath me on a junior team. I haven't done this shit since college. Like, what is this interview to get into like university? Like, what is this shit? Can you do that?
I think a better way would be to like, oh man, I mean, I don't, I haven't done this in a while because this is all automated now.
Yeah.
And,
did you say that?
I kind of alluded to it, but then it doesn't work, because it's like, okay, it's like kind of like, oh, an Olympian, I don't know, like an international level judoka comes into a seminar, and then they're like, everyone's like, hey, or like everyone asks, like, can you do, I don't know, Ouchigari? And then he's just like, ugh.
I have a funny story, very similar analogy that's very exciting. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Not to like derail your story.
No, go ahead.
Cale Sanderson came to do a clinic at my high school.
Yeah, I
Huge
remember.
deal.
Yeah, I remember you telling the story.
Showing ankle picks, showing his thing, like maneuver. It was amazing. Like, this is a great drill to take your guy out of position and go for an ankle pick. You know, it was a funny thing because I raised my hand to ask a question.
Yeah.
My coach was like, "Don't ask that stupid question. Whatever you're asking." He ran over. He's like, "What were you gonna ask him?" I was like, I wanted to ask him if he could take off his shirt to see how jacked he is. He's like, Higashi, you know, I'm going to kill you. And then another kid raised his hand and goes, Kale, can you show me a 5-point suplex, like a chest to belly throw?
Oh, man, yeah.
And Kale goes, I don't really do that, you know?
Yeah. So he can do that because it's Cale Sanders. Yeah.
No, but he goes, I don't really do that move.
Yeah.
And then a Russian guy that was there, who was like a Russian champion, goes, I can teach you this throw. And then, like, started showing this thing.
In front of Cale Sanders?
Dude, all the kids went crazy. They're like, whoa! Like, and no one wanted to learn the ankle pick after that. And it was like, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, and also I remember, this is a seminar we both went. We didn't know each other back then, but the Inoue Kosei seminar, someone asked if he could show any left-sided throws.
Yep.
And he said, I don't do left side throws.
I don't do it. That's you. That's your thing with the situation.
So that's
I don't do derivatives.
There's a stark difference here because I'm not a renowned scientist, right?
I mean, you have a PhD from a very good university.
It's like me. It's like maybe I'm I did some stint at like a international level C tournament, and I'm to show up and then. You know, I can't.
You just won a Continental Open. That's
and
you're about to try to medal at the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, "Oh, sorry, can you do an Ouchigari?" And then I'm like, "I don't do that." You know, that's doesn't quite work. You know. Yeah. But anyway,
all right. So let me ask you a question. There's a video going around on Instagram. Like, there's a kid interviewing at a tech firm.
Yeah.
It's probably fake.
Yeah.
But he has the phone over here, and he's ChatGPTing. And the interviewer goes, "Share your screen right now." And he goes to share the screen, and he's like, "Okay, clearly you're not cheating." But he has his phone out here.
Yeah.
On ChatGPT, like, do people do that?
I am pretty sure people do that. I mean. Yeah. I definitely don't recommend doing that because you could tell I've been a interviewer, although I wasn't interviewing people when like it was before ChatGPT came out and all. But it's like this, like there's so much. If you can probably pass a few interviews, but there's so much risk to that. If you get caught, you're fucked. You know?
Yeah, is that bad, huh?
Who would want to work with you?
That's true.
Like. You know, it's just like the war will get out, and
I mean they'll know, right? Because you're looking at the thing down here, and like you're like punching away over here.
I think,
like,
exactly. And also, like, say you're like doing that, and then ChatGPT gives you an answer, but you don't understand it. Then answer, and then you're like kind of like making shit up. I mean, you better be a good talker, I guess, if you want to do that. You better, you know.
You gotta BS your way through it.
But I've heard that story. I've never seen it myself. I don't know anyone who does around me. But it's I just don't think that's worth it. It's better. You just study. I think that's probably a safer way. But that does happen because it's gotten so competitive and ChatGPT's gotten so good and But I couldn't take the derivative. Right after the interview, I looked it up, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is so complicated.
You were cursing so much. You're like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm just going to curse nonstop today.
I'm like, you know, it's all, you know, off, you know, this is raw me. This is real me.
Peter's real, you know.
But that was, I think, I was really stumped with that question. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so you want to say something to the viewers who've been listening to you for how many years now? 3 years. We have over 100 episodes, right? How many episodes do we have?
I don't even know, man. More than 100. It's like
maybe crazy. 200 or something crazy, right?
I just want to say this is like we just started like during the pandemic we were like separated. I moved to Michigan, and we used to like see each other like almost every day in New York, and we're like, okay, let's kind of, we're just trying to keep up with each other. And then the idea came out, it's like everyone's kind of doing this podcast thing, maybe we're talking anyway, so let's just kind of record this. And that was a start.
It's true.
I mean, we had a humble beginning. We had this janky ass setup with like using our own cameras, and but now we're like actually making some money thanks to you guys. I can't thank you guys enough to for the
and
support.
now you're going to be a sponsor of the podcast, right?
Fancy job. That's right. I'll be a Patreon. I'll be on the Patreon.
Could you imagine? I can't even imagine like you asking your wife without a job, honey, can I get $100 so I can sponsor the podcast? She would be, oh my god, dude.
So now I have some disposable income now. But
there you go. But tell the people how you feel, Peter.
Yeah, it's like it's like bittersweet, like everyone says. I love the time here, but at the same time, I think you have to know when to step away. I think that's
true.
I think that's one of the things like people, even great people with great success, fail to do. And I think at this point, I think I've done everything I could to kind of grow this podcast, and then the next chapter, I just my skill set and time, and it's not gonna be, I'm just gonna be a hindrance, and I think it's best I step away. Which is, but I at the same time, I'm gonna still talk to you.
Of course, I hope you talk to me.
Yeah, it's not like I'm breaking up with you or anything like that. So, and I'm still gonna listen. I really hope, we had this conversation of like how to grow this podcast, like getting all these fancy sponsors and all. And I really hope you pull that through. I wanna see you next to this Prof G, all this like.
Oh, I love Prof G.
Yeah, or maybe you'll be on Joe Rogan and like the treatment, all the crazy things, But yeah, I'm really excited for the future of this podcast, and I'm really glad that I was able to be part of it. Yeah.
Beautiful, Peter.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, thank you for doing this. I couldn't have done any of this stuff by myself, really.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for the future. I mean, one of the podcasts that we already recorded, me and Vinny Mancuso, is about steroids and grappling. So you wouldn't know about that.
I don't know anything about that. I didn't know anything.
You'd have been like, I gotta. So it's definitely some exciting stuff gonna happen in the future, and hopefully you can take some of these skill sets you learned here also for your, I don't know, maybe you do an AI. You're a big AI CEO sometime, and founder-based marketing is such a popular thing now. Look at Jensen and look at Zuckerberg and all these guys.
Right.
And it's not just in tech, but like apparel too, right? So it's a thing. And now, Peter, one day you could have your podcast and be like, wow, this is familiar.
Yeah, at least I think that's a skill I learned. Kind of talking like in this type of setting. Now this reminds me of like the first episode we recorded. It was so bad. I was like, I just couldn't talk.
You know how many people send me a message like, dude, I don't understand what Peter's saying. That Korean accent, he's saying and ah and
I know.
I was like, yo, guys, like whatever, like. And then you got really good at this thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill you need to learn. I think I mean, I'm not saying everyone should start a podcast, but I think it's just. I saw this thing about the Prof G, Scott Galloway. For those who don't know, I saw a reel of him saying,
professor.
Was that? Oh yeah, no, professor. Yeah. And then he was saying the most valuable skill he would like his children to have would be the storytelling skills. I don't know if you saw that one. Yeah, but I think it is. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I think storytelling kind of applies to everywhere because we are human, we're social animals. We have to tell each other stories, and I hopefully, mostly true things. But I think I learned a lot of that through this journey, and I'm glad I could learn that skill. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a soft skill that you need. Like, look at every great CEO,
Yeah.
You're essentially like Bezos, dude. He's like well-spoken, tells a story, build this thing, and stepped away from Amazon,
Yeah.
So your career trajectory,
Well,
now he's working on right
Maybe.
Blue Origin, and
His ROI is
you're going on to your Blue Origin.
He's I would say his ROI is a little better than mine, but yeah, I think
I don't know, man. Our ROI is pretty good. We didn't put that much money into the thing,
That's
and
true.
we
That's
returned
true.
something. So
yeah,
the return on investment,
Investment
the
is
ROI is pretty high.
yeah, you're
Return
right.
on our time, probably not so
Not so much. Yeah. But yeah,
Definitely,
monetary wise, our ROI was pretty good. Yeah. But
yeah, and I'm really excited for you, man. And I
Thanks,
want
man.
everyone to know who's listening that there's zero ill will. We never had any beef.
Yeah.
It was like the most pleasurable experience working with you.
Yeah,
for the last 3 years on this thing, and our history. You came to the dojo right after college,
right after college, I got my first
going
job
through
in New
a
York,
toxic breakup, dude.
That's right.
And I was like, young man. You were like, you're not that much older than me. I was like,
Yeah.
young man, you got to get rid of this girl.
I know. It was like
You got to cut this shit off. Be a man.
I remember that. It was like a very formative years for me, and I'm glad we are still best friends, and I see your growth, becoming a dad and everything, and I'm glad
I'm
that
still
you're
kind of
part
doing the same
mine.
shit I was doing, back then.
No,
Not that much growth on my side.
No, but you're like you were like a budding teacher, but now I think you've grown as like a wise teacher, you're like you're people listen to you, like the wider audience, and I think it's
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's YouTube also. That stuff is very validating, and yeah, man, we're both doing great.
yeah.
And we hope that it keeps on going. Thank you to our sponsors, by the
That's
way.
right.
Yeah, we have Elijah, Jason, Lavon, Drew. If you have business, you have Churn, Hakuin.ai. Thank you very much, guys, for all your support. You too can support us on Patreon. And now the Patreon has shifted a little bit. It's going to be about connecting with me. You could chat with me. You could video chat with me. You could do one-to-one mentorships. It is expensive, but, my time is expensive.
Yeah.
So find me on Patreon and support us, the show, me, all of it. And then, Peter, man, thank you so much for...
Yeah, thanks, Shintaro. I mean,
all that you've done.
Yeah, I think we really complemented each other in this endeavor, like your skill set, my skill set, and I hope you can find people who can help you out. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're good to do solo, but it's the best of luck, man. I really hope this blows up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then if you're listening and you have some technical expertise that you could share to help us with the thing, that would be great, because I have no technical expertise. And look, now this video is 720p. Thanks a lot, Peter, for that one.
I thought I switched it for you, but yeah, well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Keep in touch. I'll see you around.
Yep. Yep. California,
California, baby.
give him lots of love.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.